Hi everybody, welcome back. So today I thought I would just do a bit of a catch-up video to let you know what's been going on. Last week Stephen and I were both on annual leave. I don't know if that's what they call it everywhere. Basically it just means that we were on holiday from our jobs. So we decided that we were going to tackle the house because with all the decluttering that's been going on recently, it kind of became a bit of a mess. So we did 2 trips to a local charity shop and took a load of stuff to them, and we also did a trip to the local council recycling centre and took a bunch of stuff there that could be recycled, and that freed up a lot of space in the house. So now there are some rooms that are much cleaner than they were before. There's also, I would say probably just our second bedroom, which has got worse, but that's just because we're trying to condense the mess down so that it's not spread out throughout so many places in the house. So that room is worse, but a lot of other places in the house are definitely looking tidier and more organised. So we spent a lot of time doing that, just tidying the house, cleaning the house, and then at the weekend we were through in Glasgow pretty much the entire time. Every year we go to this thing called Scotland Loves Anime, and it's just a festival where there's lots of Japanese animation. Now this runs in Glasgow, usually just for a weekend, and it also runs in Edinburgh, and that kind of lasts all week. Normally we'd go to the one in Edinburgh just because there's more on, but we couldn't get the time off, well I couldn't get the time off for the week in Edinburgh, so we went to the one in Glasgow instead. And there was also at the same weekend an exhibition called Down Under Live, and we went to that last year as well. It's an exhibition, they say it's the largest exhibition of its kind in this country, I think, for people who want to emigrate to Australia and New Zealand. And they also have Canada Live at the same event, which is for people who want to move to Canada. So there's a lot of different seminars on, and then there are stalls with people who can help you with various things depending on where you want to go to. So there's immigration agents, there's banks, there's insurance people, currency exchange people, that kind of stuff. So we went there on Saturday. It opened at 10 and it was on till 3. I think we left about 2 because we had to get through to Glasgow to watch our first film. We spent most of the day watching seminars just because we wanted to make sure that we saw everything that we wanted to on the Saturday, and we spent a bit of time talking to some people as well. We opened our Australian bank accounts because they recommend that you open a bank account up to a year before you intend to arrive in the country. And that's just so that you can start to build up a bit of a banking history, because you can't take any of your credit history with you when you emigrate to the other country. It means that you can start to transfer some funds across, which will then mean that they're there when you arrive. And our bank is going to be ANZ, which is one of the largest banks in Australia, also in New Zealand as well. And they will arrange for your local branch to have your debit card ready for you when you arrive in the country. So you just take along proof of identity, and then they'll give you your debit card and you can start using that straight away. So that's really handy. Trying to think what else we did on the Saturday. I'm sure there was other people that we spoke to, but I can't remember who. Mostly it was spent at seminars anyway. And then we went back on the Sunday and spoke to a few people that we hadn't managed to speak to on the first day. So we managed to talk to our immigration agents who are dealing with our case, and they looked at how we are progressing and said that we're kind of going at the average rate just now, and based on that they expect that our visas should be through by around April of next year, which is earlier than we expected because we were planning to travel probably about this time next year. So we might actually bring that forward slightly. We don't really want to go in the summertime, well, our summertime, because that means that it will be winter in Melbourne. And although their winters are really mild compared to ours, it's probably similar to our autumn. It would be nice just to have summer here and then go when it's starting to warm up a bit. So if we do bring it forward, it'll maybe be to September or something like that. But they seem to think that we were progressing quite well. We also spoke to somebody who's just brought out a new product. It's called Migration Cover, and that's for people who are immigrating to, I think at the moment it's just Australia and New Zealand. And basically it gives you travel insurance, and it also covers you for if you have to return to your own country, either temporarily or permanently. So they will cover things like your travel costs and the cost of accommodation for situations like if somebody becomes unwell or if there's problems with your job, something like that. If you become, if you're made redundant in your job in your new country, then they can help with things like that. It is quite expensive, but if you consider the cost of flying all the way from Australia back here, for Stephen and I mean return flights would probably be into the thousands of pounds, and then accommodation on top of that. So if we had to do that, then it would be a lot more than what the cover is. So that's something that we are considering. And we also spoke to kind of international removal people. I can't remember what the exact term for that is. They did a talk on the first day, and then we spoke to them a little bit on the first day, and we went back to them on the second day to ask them more specific questions. So they were kind of breaking prices of things down for us. We have learned that we will probably not be taking our car, because to take a car is in the region of about £4,000 to take from the UK to Australia. They really don't like you taking cars. You also can't put anything in your car when you're taking it over, so you can't use that as storage space. Anything that you take has to be stored out with that, so it will cost extra. And my car is a 2002 Nissan Micra, so it's not really in that great shape, although it did pass its last MOT and has passed quite a few other MOTs, so it's been a really good car. It's probably just not worth £4,000 to take it all the way to Australia. They did also break things down a bit for us in terms of boxes. For example, you can take 10 boxes which aren't a massive size. They were maybe like that by that, and 10 boxes of that kind of size were, I think, about £500 to transport from the UK to Australia. To take half a shipping container is £2,000, and to take a full shipping container, which would hold the average contents of a 3-bedroom house with all its contents including furniture, is about £4,000. So they say that the more you take, the more value you get out of shipping things over. They also said when you're choosing what you want to take in terms of shipping, then choose value over quantity. So you want to take the minimum amount of stuff with the highest value. Don't just take any random things that you could easily replace over there. Choose the things that are the most valuable. So that was really interesting. It was also interesting to find out that we don't need to know our permanent address for when we actually arrange for these people to come and pack things up for us and start the shipping process, because it takes 12 weeks for our stuff to get from the UK to Australia. And even if we didn't know our permanent address by the time that the stuff arrived, they have storage out there and they can put the stuff into storage until we're able to give them a permanent address, and then they can move the stuff from the storage to our new home. So that's given us a lot to think about. We do need to reduce the contents of our home quite significantly from where it is at the moment, even though we've already got rid of quite a lot. So I'm still going with my KonMari method at the moment. I think next I'm doing electronics, and there's a few more categories to go after that. And even when I get to the end of that, there's still going to be plenty more to do. So I imagine it will just be a case of going back to the beginning and sorting through things again. One other interesting thing that happened to us when we were at the exhibition in Glasgow, we were just about to leave on the Sunday when somebody came up and approached us and asked if we were just considering moving to Australia or if we were actually doing it. And Stephen said that we were actually going. So this woman said that she was from a TV production company and they're making a documentary about people who are moving from the UK to Australia. And she was looking for people who would be willing to be part of the TV programme, who would be filmed in the UK as they prepare for moving abroad, and then they would be filmed again in Australia as they start to get new jobs and find new homes and settle down into their new life. So Stephen doesn't seem massively keen on the idea. He is still kind of thinking about it. But I think it would be quite an interesting thing to do, and I think it would be nice for our families as well, because then they could see what it's like for us once we get to Australia, and they could watch us on TV as we're settling into our new lives over there. So I think that would be quite a reassuring thing for them, but we'll see if it kind of works out like that or not. So that's basically everything that we've been doing at the moment. Back at work, and it's really busy, and just keeping on going with the decluttering. There is still a huge amount to do. You can kind of look around the house now and see that there's little pockets of space opening up, and things that didn't have a space to be stored in before now have somewhere to go. But at the same time, there are things that still need to be moved out of the house and lots of things that still need to be sorted through. Some things that have already been sorted through, they still need gone through again, so it's going to be quite a long process still. So I think that's everything for now. If you have any comments on any of this, then please do leave a comment for me below. If you like the video, then please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see any more videos from me, then please do subscribe. I will be doing lots of more videos about my decluttering and keeping you updated on our process of moving to Australia at the same time. So I will see you next time. Bye!